even as we continue to see.
Thank you very much. I think that's a very good charge we got there. Sincerely, these things you are having is not in the public domain. That's the truth. And please make sure you maximize it to the fullest. I would have loved to stay so much after my presentation and see how things would be, but my second son is 9 today. Wow. He's like, "Dad, are you sure you are going? You are not taking me out this morning." I said, "Don't worry, I'll come back soon." So we could just have time for him. So you will bear with me after my session. The things I'll say about table manners and etiquettes, please, I expect that you put them to practice and then use them while you practice. Now let's go back quickly to communication, and then I will end with table manners or table etiquettes. By the grace of God, I have a PhD in educational technology with expertise in communication. And what that means is that I so much value communication. And that's what happens everywhere. Have you been in a service where somebody is sleeping before? You've attended the service and the pastor is shouting. I'm speaking low today. I know how to shout too. And the pastor said, "You know God is here!" And someone is sleeping. What's the problem? Communication. When people communicate, there's no boredom. But when people speak, there may be boredom. In life, we communicate. It could be verbal, it may be non-verbal. As a matter of fact, most of the time, the non-verbal goes further than the verbal. So communication generally, a lot of people have gotten different definitions for it, but some things remain constant with all the definitions. This is it. Now, you must one, there is exchange of information between two or more bodies. Right now, have we been communicating? Yes. What are the things that we have communicated? Writing CV, attending interviews and being successful. That means we have communicated. Have you attended a class and everything the teacher taught from morning to the end? Olori, Onidi, it's because he is not communicating. There is an information that is not properly encoded, so it will not be properly decoded. In Nigeria, if I say, what does that likely mean to you? Okay, this is one. This is no. Okay, what if I say? What am I saying? So if I say this to you, I said, what I am encoding is not what you are decoding. That means there's a problem between the encoder and the decoder. So sometimes I'm saying something else, and you are responding in a non-corresponding way. The information is straight, but it's not properly encoded or not properly decoded. So the act takes place by certain means, which could be verbal or non-verbal. Let me quickly give you components of communication, and then you must know this very important. There is the sender, there is the message, there is the channel, there is the receiver, and there is the feedback. That's the basic we have in communication. We have more, but this is just basic. So, when you are talking to someone, there is what you have in your mind. That is what you encode. You're working in a place and they say you have communication problem. You're trying to let them know that you will come late tomorrow. But you are not properly encoding it. And somebody is making an offense that you said you want to go to your father's burial. Your father's burial is not the issue. The issue is that you will not come early to the job. So you let them know, I am supposed to be here at 8, so I will do extension today in order to make up for tomorrow. So don't expect me tomorrow morning till 12 because I'm doing overtime today to make up for tomorrow. So somebody tomorrow morning, not saying you till 12, will not be annoyed because you have communicated efficiently. So there is the communicator, there is the sender who encodes, there is the message which is the action or the content, there is the channel which is the method in which you transmit your message, the receiver, and then the feedback. Let me tell you that the feedback must be corresponding. You're going to take permission from your boss. Instead of placing a call, you send a text message. And then, after sending the message, you never bother to see if it was acknowledged. And you still went ahead to take permission. And the Oga came back the following morning and fired you. Do you know why? You said, sir, I sent a text message. Said, was it acknowledged? If a message is not acknowledged, it means the channel may be faulty. On WhatsApp, we all know when messages are read. You know that sometimes even messages shows that they have been read, yet the person did not read it. Because he has accumulated. And somehow maybe something else happened, he opened carelessly and he didn't read. So it's not enough to show that it's been read, it's enough to acknowledge that that thing has been said. So make sure that you always reply mails. You must let that be your habit from today. Somebody say, Shola, please wait for me at the junction, I'll meet you there. Just say, okay. Oh, please, let's not meet at the junction. Communicate. Make sure you send a feedback that is corresponding to that person. That's how you can do well in communication. Now, these are some of the things I want you to know about communication. Some communication ethics I want you to know. Number one, two people don't speak at the same time. That's the greatest problem we have in Africa. You are talking, your teacher is talking. For me, when I enter class and I say, if I talk and you talk, something is wrong with either of the sides. I am always sure that nothing is wrong with me as the teacher. So it will likely be the student that is having issues. Why God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth is because He wants you to do more listening than talking. If God had wanted us to do a lot of talking, He would have given us like 5 mouths and 1 ear. So if you use your mouth more than you use your ears, you have a problem with default. Sincerely. Some of you, just a little information in your tips started from the broadcasting. I can write, I can do this. Just be calm. Use your ears more. God wants us to do a lot of listening. In fact, He wants us to listen 2 times before we speak once. That's the minimum. So if I say, do you get me? Don't be in a hurry to say yes. Listen again. Because do you get me may not be what you think. I cannot say, are you in love with me? I'm not in love with you. If you have answered, did you get me? And I say yes. You probably are not listening enough. So in life, learn to listen. Tell yourself, I will listen more. Listen before you talk. There are people who talk before they listen. Those are the people who usually get into trouble. I'm sorry, I didn't know that. Please, you can take your tea as we speak. If you want to write, you can just drop it and write. Listen before you talk. Don't be those who always have this interest of talking more, and you think that the more you speak, the more people value you. No. In fact, do you know that in your silence lies your strength? In your silence lies your strength. Some of you are too forward to open all your cards. I'm not going to greet him. I'm not going to greet him again. And tomorrow you still greet. Now you will threat and answer. Because you said that you're not going to greet him again. Now you have expressed your displeasure to him or her, and somebody called you later. It's not good like that. Gbogbo ẹni tó wá fọlá náà ẹ̀ sí, ó ti jẹ́ kó wà a little weak. People now say, "Bọ́jú máa ń pariwo nìyẹn." So listen before you talk. Let's go on. Be polite when talking to people. So, when I was serving, let me quickly tell you this story. I had colleagues who were serving together who felt because they were core member, they were alone or second to God. I'm a graduate. So what? When you talk to people, please believe that they have something they can offer to you more than you can offer to them. I am always conscious of this even when I'm talking to my students, because the truth is this. I've always been saying it. I don't have the intention of becoming the president of Nigeria. Neither do I have intention of running in politics. But I am sure one of my students in this life will become the president of Nigeria in years to come. I am so sure of that. If I don't have one of my students as the president, and we have one of my students as the wife of the president. Imagine you are the wife of the president in 20 years' time. And Prof said, please help me with this your younger girl that needs employment in Ministry of Finance. Would you not help? But if you are not being treated well, and you see his notes, because at that time, he was like a big lion. But today, you are now the lioness. Be polite when you talk to people. Now, people may annoy you, you may speak to them and express your annoyance. That's not to show that you are not polite. You can express your displeasure about things, yet you are polite. We had a bargain that this thing will be for 8 o'clock. Why are you not here at 8? Let him answer the query. Be polite. But don't insult his personality. Oh, listen, Aburia Okweni, that's your mansion family in here, want that to be sharing. Because you are annoyed, please be polite. Are we together? Next one is that please use congruence. Now, this congruence is when what you are saying is in tandem with what your body is saying. The verbal should be said with the non-verbal. You are saying shout, but you are whispering it. You are saying colorful, and the thing is produced in black and white. This program will be very colorful. You have a billboard showing that this program is going to be very colorful, but the program is printed in black and white. I will not go for such a program, sincerely. Because this program is going to be very loud, and there are no things to show speaker. That's why, sometimes when you see some jams, some DJs, they show some vibes. From the bill alone, it tells you what to expect in such a meeting. But when you see a meeting with white and black, it's likely to be a holiness meeting, where everything will be a mass, Catholic mass. Lord, we help us as we go into this service. Let the name of the Lord be blessed at all times. It's such a time to be calm. So when you see such a bill, you will know what to expect. So the communication has to do with what you say should be the same with what your body language is saying. If I want to tell you about a program, there's a way I will appear to tell you about the program that will make you to come for the program. For instance, I want to come and talk about the cultural meeting. Need for you to attend the cultural meeting. And I'm here the way I am. I'm not speaking anything. What I should do is probably come with some shango here, come with some beads, come with some agada, show that this is really traditional. So for somebody who is interested in traditional, citing me alone is enough to turn him on that. Oh, that's where I must be. So when you see a program, when I see your advert on television, I know whether to tune in for that program or not, because there is congruence. And the last one, use dialogue and not monologue. Dialogue involves two people. Monologue involves one person. So when I speak and the other person does not respond, I am only informing, I am not communicating. There's a difference between Ministry of Information and Ministry of Communication. In Ministry of Information, all they do is they give information to the public. The president will be in Abuja tomorrow. He will leave there and come to Achievers tomorrow. They don't need your response. That's what he will do. But in communications, members of the community should know that Oro fe jade o, mo wire, abi mi o wire. You hear? Mo wire. That means that Oro ba gbe e, iwo lo mo. The town crier will always end up the announcement trying to find out if what he has said have been properly encoded. So it's not in all instances that people say, "Oh, we." So when the man said, "Kábíyèsí ní kí n sọ fún ìpẹ́ tó bá ti lè rà, má ti lè gbé mo wíire àbí mi ò wíire," ẹni bí lè sọ pé mi ò wíire àtútù sọ. We have to say it all over again until when everybody says what? Wíire. That means it is now left for them. That way it's a dialogue. Monologue is usually synonymous with mad people. Have you ever seen somebody do it like this? Only cannot know. How do you look at such a person? You know, let me say this jokingly. There was this man who was having an earpiece in one of his ear, like many of you do, and was just talking alone, listening to music and was responding. And one madman was going, and the madman said, "Bros, how was market today? Do you know what the madman saw? This man that is talking alone must be in the same company. It's because he's doing a monologue. But dialogue involves two people. In fact, if you want to kill communication, when somebody is talking, if you choose not to talk, then there won't be communication. So these are some of the things I want to talk on communication. Then we can look to table etiquette. I can see some of you are already doing some of the things I want to talk about, so we'll talk about them very well. I put here as my intro for this that etiquette and eating on the table differ from race to race, and so we don't have a universal idea. The way we eat in Africa is different from the way the Chinese people eat, different from the way the Indians eat, different from the way Americans eat, because our meals differ. But there are things that are acceptable in corporate settings when we are in the public. Those are the things we want to talk about. The things we will teach you here may not be the way you will apply it when you get home. Though you can try to get used to it when you are all alone. But when you are in the public, you are conscious of others. That's the reason. When I went to Premier Academy for interviewing in Abuja, the first interview they gave us was a break. So they took us to the dining and gave us a bread and tea. And they asked us to do. We didn't know that the camera was capturing. And there is the thing so tight, difficult to remove. Everybody was battling with the nylon of the bread. And some of my friends did. Now, some, if the thing will not remove, tearing that bread alone is failure. Do you know why? We entered the meal now like 3 minutes and they stopped us. Please, let's go. They didn't allow us to finish the meal. They asked us to come and eat. For those who tore the nylon, it's difficult for them to tidy up again. It means that they are not that careful. If you give them a project, they won't complete it. They fell from the table. Now, bread. Some of us, fruit bread, inside tea. Fruit bread, inside it. They were watching. These are things we do at home, naturally. But when you are in the public, we expect some things. That company will employ you and will send you to Abuja to represent them, send you to the UK to meet with other people in the world, and they will expect some kind of ethics, politeness, something that will not throw another person on the table off. There are some manners you have. Some of you, every 2 minutes you blow those, every 2 minutes you come. You know, when you are on the table with people, food is such a careful thing that people don't want dirt or anything that will look dirty around it. So that's why we have to bring up some of these etiquettes. But it differs from place to place. Now, number one, I want you to take note is that avoid stuffing your mouth with so much food. Bite just a little that you can eat at a time. Avoid stuffing your mouth. Take small bites at a time. And you chew with your mouth closed. You know, I was trying to ask you some questions when I knew that you were eating. Some of you were still talking though you were chewing. And some did not talk. I noticed 1 or 2 people didn't speak. So when you have things in your mouth and they engage you in a talk, please don't talk. They are testing you. Just quickly chew and then you swallow before you talk. Because when you have biscuit, especially trying with biscuits, they put biscuit for you and a tea, and you put your biscuit and you start talking, you see the crumbs coming out, and then the whole table is littered. And somebody feels irritated that your biscuit drops inside his own tea, and he couldn't take his own tea again because you have just spread a microbe. Those of you in microbiology will know that just a little that comes from you will affect another person. This is why we call it etiquettes. Chew with your mouth closed. In clubs, you see people talking and eating. But in public places, in corporate places where you are engaged on a meal, please talking and eating is not permitted. Number next, wait until you are done chewing before talking or taking a sip or swallow a drink. Don't use the drink as it were to always push down. Take the bite, swallow, and then you take the sip. So wait until you are done chewing before you take a sip or swallow a drink. That's the ethics. Not to talk less of dropping the biscuit in the tea and then we did that when we were younger. Our moms will break all the biscuit inside the tea for us and then we're using the spoon to pick it up. I observed that when the lady was serving a number of you were not polite enough. You were not polite enough. For anybody who serves you, you should say thank you. If you drop 10 things on your table, 10 thank yous. That's table manner. Be polite. Say thank you. You want to pick something from that place, excuse me. Could you please help me? It's an ethics. Don't put your hand across somebody's food to pick something. Somebody is eating here, you are here, and you want to pick salt or spoon or toothpick. And you go like this. Just say, please pass me that. Could you please help me? Excuse me, don't go further. So please be polite. Say, I'm sorry. Sometimes you spill something on somebody's nose. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Be polite when you're on the table. Don't reach across the table for something. Ask for it. Politely. Anyone with a tissue, anyone with, towel, napkin, use your utensils correctly. I think you all know the positioning of fork and knife. I hope you do. I do hope you know. Okay. For any food that involves cutting, you might need to use a knife. A table knife, not a kitchen knife. It is assumed that our active hand is the right hand. So it is that you use to cut. If you put your fork in the right and the knife in the left, you are likely to mess up your own table. You are likely to spill things on people, even to death your own self. So do some cutting. Then you roll with your fork and then put it in your mouth. In some cases, you may need to accompany the fork with the knife before you take it to your mouth. So use your utensils correctly. Your napkins are there for you to use. Please, when you are eating, it is normal for food to come here. So after taking one or two bites, take your napkins, take your serviette, and clean. Somebody looks at you and he sees something there, get disgusted. I won't eat again. In fact, there are people that when they see you on the table and they see food, they will go and throw up. I want to confuse them. Why? Because they saw something falling from your mouth to the side. So the tissue, the serviettes are there for you to use. As a matter of fact, if they are not available, don't start your food. For me, I don't eat until water is available. If you don't bring water, it doesn't matter what's on the table. I need water because I take it periodically. And I don't want a situation where I'm eating and I'm crying. And water is coming, tears is coming from my eye. No. So please use your utensils correctly. Use your napkins correctly. Now, this one is common among you, smartphones. It's a terrible table abnormalities. Somebody is eating and is using the cell phone. And it's there. On the public table, please, it shows you didn't pass through the university. Sincerely, I won't employ you. If I see you do that in my interview, fondling with your phones, in fact, it shouldn't ring. It should be in silence when you are going on the table. Now, when it rains, when it vibrates or is inside, you see it come, you can go and pick it up without disrupting the table. Just excuse me, and you go out and pick your cups, not on the table. Because there are things you can say, there are conversations you can have on the phone that somebody will stop eating. What you go? Accident, because you are picking up your cups on the table, on the public table. So please keep your smartphones off the table, or you set them to silent while eating. No elbow on the table. No elbow. Use sit up. Your hands should be free. Not that your hands is there. That's coffee. Your hands, your elbow should not be on the table while you are eating. And this one I must say, for those of you who lunch before you go to the restaurant, before you come to the restaurant, please clean up. You just had a very tedious job. All of you go for a field trip and meal is ready in the restaurant. Go and clean up first. Clean up. Come to the table clean. Freshen up. Not the sweat and then you are eating. You are doing like this. See. In fact, as a matter of fact, when you're in the public, don't do like this. Anytime you feel your face is moist, go back. Tidy up. Drop it. Don't do like this in the table. You want to clean up your face because there's no air conditioner and the breeze is hot, it's making you to sweat up. Do some. Drop it. So don't come to the table and emanating some smells. As a matter of fact, even perfumes may not be necessary while going on the table. You don't need to wear a very heavy perfume or body spray. You are going to the table. Smell is sensitive. I have seen where people used very expensive perfume and somebody say, "Okay, I did it, officer." That's somebody's interpretation of your own body spray. You use a very expensive perfume. The interpretation somebody will give to it is, "What are they officer?" You are proud that you are smelling nice. To you, that's the smell. So smell is relative. So when you think you have just give me a good name of a good perfume. I don't know. And so on and so forth. Thank you. I use them, but I don't know their names. And somebody feels like I want to throw up because of that smell. Especially ladies, they are so sensitive to smells. So please be neutral as much as possible. Just clean up. When you go for parties, when you go for dancing, your perfume may be necessary. If you are going to dance, you are going, on the public. But it's for meal, please don't smell so much. As much as possible, don't spray the hair. Especially some of you, you're weak, you do a lot of heavy spraying on them in order to reduce the smell. Please, when you are coming to the table as much as possible, keep that. Avoid eating and chewing. I think I've said something about that. Eat over your table. Sit up. Don't do big boy on table. Please, don't do big boy. This big boy. The lady before you, and then sit on the table. Eat over your food. You can't rest your back and be taking a meal on the table. You can't put the food on your laps. It must be on the table. So eat over the table, over the plate. I hope you get that. So don't you just come and be forming unnecessary forming. Eat over the table. Don't blow your nose in the restaurant. It's a terrible thing some people do. In the public, especially where there's food, you can blow your nose in the class. So people are not eating, then you are just permitted when people are not eating. But when they are eating, excuse yourself, please. In the restaurant, you need to blow, go out. You are not blowing to the air, you are blowing to an handkerchief. But somebody feels something has come up on his own plate. Don't blow your nose in the restaurant. Don't lick your fingers. What about for Bella? Take food without licking fingers. You can wash your hands. Take it. Yeah? It's not the one you do like this. Wash your hands to take swallows. Nothing is wrong with you. It shows you are from Africa. It's not all the You go for formal meetings, they put someone on the table for you. Politely, ask, wash your hands. Take it neatly, wash your hands back. But don't come and be doing. I'm about to be knowing what you message. There are people like that that after using everything, I know they'll be shower. Their mouth is enough. They will clean up completely. And some of you lick plates. That one is horrible. I don't know how people, somebody will finish eating the food, and you now see made in China. Please, for God's sake, leave some dirt on the plate. It may be necessary. Don't use your tongue at all on the plate or on the cutleries or whatever. After taking your food, don't lick anything as much as possible. Don't talk about things that will make one lose appetite. Permission is given to some of the times that we can speak while we are on our meals, but don't speak with the food in your mouth. You go out for a date, your father-in-law to be just invites you. Say, please come and have dinner with us. That looks like a good invitation, isn't it? And it's on the table that they want to seal up whether you marry their daughter. And it's asking you questions. You will talk on that table. You don't say that they buying you. But when you are talking, you quickly swallow and you talk. But don't say things that will make every other person on the table want to drop. Don't do that. Or something that will make somebody lose appetite. As much as possible, be economical with disgusting or news that are not volatile, that are not pleasant. Your mom died in an accident. Yes, it was a bloody experience. And your father-in-law to be is asking you how your mom died. There's no need to narrate the blood issue of that thing. Because your mother-in-law would naturally lose appetite. Your mother-in-law to be. You mean that's how your own mom died? Ghastly motor accident, blood covered her from head. The sight of blood or the sound of blood alone just flew down with you. Sorry, poor boy. That's the end. Her tummy is shut up. She won't be able to eat again. So be careful those kind of information when you're on the table. Don't clear your table until everyone is through. You are sitting in threes and twos. There's no need, it's rude for you to say because you are done. You clean the table and you go. Sit, wait for others. Let everybody finish before you pack. Are you there? It's part of the ethics you must learn when you are using the public meal. Never forget to thank those who provide you food. Courtesy is one of the greatest, for me, courtesy is one of the greatest ethics you should learn. Visit your uncle, they call you to come and have your meal. After eating the meal, the next thing is that you are responding to something on the television. No, thank you, ma, for the meal. Thank you, mommy, for that beautiful. Even if the food is not nice, please use a neutral adjective. That was a good meal. That may not be a fantabulous meal, but it's a good meal. Learn to be in the positive side more than the negative side, especially guys. The only time you complain, you talk about food, is when the food is not good. When the food is good, you never mention it. You go visit your friend in the hostel and she gives you some, wow, it's creamy. Just use one adjective to show that our effort is appreciated. One thing is this, when you appreciate people's meal, when you come visit again, you can be sure you get another meal. But when they present the best for you and you feel that's your own worst, the next thing is, I used to have one old man who would come to our house every Sunday morning and we take meals, and in most cases we shorten our ration. What annoys us most when we were growing up was that he would not say thank you. He would rather complain. Yeah, I'm going to shower you. Learn to acknowledge. Learn to thank those who have provided you the meals. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how I recap. We have been able to look at how to write attractive resume. In this summit, we've been able to look at how to attend job interviews successfully. I think by now we can communicate very effectively. And when we use the public table, you can do well. I think you will dine with kings soon. I want to thank you very much. The whole world is waiting for you. I can't wait. Somebody just told me, sister, you came to Achievers when I was in final years and you mentioned some things, and today I am the representative of Nigeria in the UK. And here you are trying to get a visa. Please bring your passport, I will help you out. Who will do that for me? God bless you. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Shall we celebrate him once again? I want to say